Just ahead on American Black Journal, a milestone for an event celebrating the achievements of African American men. We'll talk about the Michigan Chronicle's Men of Excellence Awards, plus details on a community event taking place at the very site of the 1967 Detroit Rebellion. Stay right there. American Black Journal starts now.
American Black Journal is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. The Michigan Chronicle recently celebrated the 10th anniversary of its signature event honoring the achievements of African American men. It's called Men of Excellence, and the recipients are recognized for their vision, their leadership, and community service. Joining me now to talk more about the awards are Kathy Ned, who's the Chief Operating Officer at the Michigan Chronicle, and one of this year's recipients, Sean Wilson, who is head of Truscott Rossman's Detroit office. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Stephen. Glad to be here.
First, congratulations to you on 10 years of Men of Excellence. It is a really cool event. Talk about where the idea came from to do this.
Well, the idea, of course, came from our fearless leader, Hiram Jackson, who's the publisher of the Michigan Chronicle and the CEO of our parent company, Real Times Media. And he just wanted to do a couple of events that actually celebrate African American achievement in our community. The interesting thing is when he first did, we also do Women of Excellence, but when he first did Men of Excellence and Women of Excellence, he picked 50 people. And after that, people said, well, you won't have anybody to celebrate next year.
You're going to run out of people, right?
We're going to run out of people.
He said that the first year, didn't he?
They said that the first year, and here
So
we
now
are.
you're at 500.
We're at 10 years in, and wonderful people like Sean hadn't even been recognized yet, along with like Councilman Spivey, just a lot of others in our community that was like, oh my God, what happened? How did we miss them? And there are so many more that deserve recognition.
Yeah. I don't have to say this, but I'm going to. African American men don't get enough recognition, and especially some of the folks that you're picking are among the people who they just get overlooked by mainstream awards and recognition.
They do, and it kind of, in a little bit, shows up at the event. When we do Women of Excellence, they usually come with their girlfriends and their coworkers, and it's a whole different kind of event. When we do Men of Excellence, they're with their wives, they're with their children, they're with their moms, and it's just a beautiful thing for their children and their wives to just see them get the recognition that they get. I often tease that when they leave home in the morning, the children just see their dad leaving and they don't realize what he's going off to do.
What he's doing,
Yes, what he's leading, who he's shepherding, you know, how he's tilling our community and really making it a better place to live and work for all of us.
Yeah. So 500 people over 10 years. I mean, talk about some of the people who have fallen into those ranks.
Well, there's this guy named Stephen Henderson.
I've heard of him.
Who's been a Man of Excellence before. I mean, it's been so many, like Joel Ferguson, who's a huge developer in our community. I knew you were going to do this. You're challenging me to do something.
But remember, it's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people.
Yeah. Sean, congratulations to you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. I'm in the club.
Yeah, right. Now we'll get the handshake.
Right.
The little paraphernalia. Tell me what this means.
This means a lot. I mean, when you look at and I brought a copy of the actual insert in the Michigan Chronicle, when you look at the roster of talented young brothers and what they're doing, and going back to the earlier point that people don't know enough about these folks. it's an honor. It's an honor to be a part of this alumni. It's an honor to be recognized, and it's great to be part of an initiative that's really highlighting something that needs to be highlighted in the community.
Yeah, yeah. Talk some about your career here in Detroit and how you've
my winding career. Yeah. So for the past 2 years, I've been heading up the Detroit office for Detroit Truscott Rossman, which is a statewide strategic communications firm with offices in Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Lansing. So it's been a blast. I had a career prior to that in banking and a career prior to that in communications. So I'm back to doing what I think I do best. Kathy may agree or disagree, but it's been great. And one of the reasons why I came to the firm was to get back into Detroit. So I'm back in Detroit. I'm back on the streets, quote unquote, trying to look up hustle business and be successful.
Yeah. A big part of this is about service and the service that people do in addition to sort of pushing themselves ahead in their careers and achieving. I always feel like that's sort of an obligation in the Black community that you don't see in other communities, that those of us who get to have these experiences and opportunities always feel like, okay, well, it's not good enough just to be here. I really got to look behind me and kick open some doors or hold some open that I opened for other people.
And that seems to be really, really important to African American men. Hiram Jackson, who is the publisher of our newspaper, he's actually now the chairman of Boys and Girls Club, the Boys Club. And that's because he grew up through that. So I think a lot of the African American men have somebody reach down for them, somebody helped them, so they in turn want to do the same thing. One of the people who's getting a special honor tomorrow is the other Sean Wilson.
There are two Sean Wilsons.
Sean Wilson, who's at Ford Motor Company. And Sean started Men of Courage in conjunction with the Big Sean, another Sean, Big Sean Foundation, started Men of Courage. And his sole mission was to change the dialogue that happens around African American men. And I think he's done a wonderful job at doing that. So he's going to get a special recognition tomorrow, along with Dr. Adams. And oh my God, he has just been an icon in our community, and there's just a really long time, and there's just not enough to say. And even those who may not have put together a program specifically, just the fact that they are icons in our community, they're role models that young men get to look up to and see and say, I can be like him.
Well, if I can piggyback, so I looked at most of the men that are featured this year, and none of these guys are guys that go to work and go home and that's it. No community commitment. They all have a serious commitment to the community, whether it's on boards, whether it's starting nonprofits, or some form of engagement where they're giving back. And it's great to see that.
Right. How are we doing with the sort of getting African American men, more African American men, to the place where they're being honored for things like this, where they are giving back, where we don't maybe have to think so much about recognizing them ourselves, that they're getting other kinds of...
So I'll start. So God bless the Michigan Chronicle and Real Times Media, because we're in a stage in Detroit where most of these guys are overlooked. And it's not common to see these folks.
I still think that's surprising in Detroit.
It is.
You would think that of all places, this wouldn't be as much of an issue.
It is an issue. It's an issue. I don't know how we get beyond this, but I mean, you don't read about these guys in the headlines. You don't see what they're doing in the community. And not to say that what's being read about is wrong, but I think there's just a whole class of folks, primarily Black professionals, males and women, who are being overlooked in what's happening in Detroit.
Tell me how you put this list together every year. So 50 people. Are they nominated?
Yes. Okay. They are nominated, and through the years, it came to the point where we give special deference to people who are nominated by other men of excellence.
Okay.
So actually, I think people think we sit in a room and just start picking people, and that really isn't the case.
That would be impossible.
No, it isn't the case. Actually, we have to cull down, and it's becoming more and more unwieldy every year.
Right?
We have to cull down from like 400 or 500 nominations.
Is that right?
Yes, and it's starting to get to the point even where wives are nominating their husbands. And,
That's a good thing, right?
It is a very good thing. It's a very good thing. But the excitement in the room when they see their loved one go up there, it's insane. I know you've been to some of the ones before. People just lose their minds.
The event is really cool.
And it's a well-done event.
People
look forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so the process, though, of picking that 50, I mean, with so many people, talk about what are some of the weeder criteria? How are you picking 50 and not the others?
It's really hard. Like I said, we give deference first to Men of Excellence. So I kind of pull that out, like who's been nominated by a Man of Excellence before. And then we have to literally go through and read the nomination information, which shows, what they're doing in their career, kind of how they've advanced through their career, and what they're doing in their community.
Yeah.
That's really important because, it goes to the whole it takes a village thing.
Right.
And unfortunately, and I won't even say this is just unique to our community, there are a lot of children who don't have that leadership in their own household.
Really true.
So it's really important that others, you look out for your neighbor and you look out for your friends' kids. There's a lot of single mothers. So it's important. That whole African American role is just real important in our community to just hold up as many of them as we can and say, look, we see you, you're doing a great job, please continue, and whatever we can do to help, we'd like to do that.
Yeah. Going forward, obviously you're not running out of possibilities.
No,
I would imagine you still have hundreds of people who are deserving.
We do, and actually I see people all the time. I was like, dang it,
I'm gonna get him next year, right?
He'd have been good.
Yeah.
He'd have been good. Yeah, and it's not just even with the Women of Excellence, and even with our 40 Under 40 event, which handles the younger group. At Women of Excellence this year, one of the women in our community that helped me, that really helped me a lot coming through in my career, she said, Kathy, thank you. And it's like, I would not have known about some of these people.
Yeah.
She just wouldn't have known, because everybody doesn't toot their horn as well. We all know there's some people that are a lot better at it.
We're busy.
People are working, right?
We're busy working.
But some people are better on Facebook than others.
Talking about what they're doing.
Talking about what they're doing. So you know, but others are, like you said, they're busy and I don't have children, unfortunately, but I can't even imagine handling what I handle and then having
to go home and
handle children as well, because they require so much, So I applaud them. Yeah.
All right. Congratulations on 10 years.
Thank you.
Congratulations on
Thanks, Stephen.
being named. Thanks for being here. Up next, a special community event that will mark the anniversary of the Detroit Rebellion. But first, here's a 1991 Detroit Black Journal interview with famous entrepreneur Wally Amos.
I started making cookies just to make a living and to be happy doing what I was doing. And I was so committed and so involved in it and so joyous about it. And had I wanted to make a living because you got to support the business, otherwise you'd be out of business, But the goal was not, I didn't say, hey, I'm going to go in the cookie business and make a lot of money, sell a lot of cookies. I said, I'm going to do something I like the way I want to do it. I'm going to have fun doing it. I'm going to share it with people. I'm going to do my best. And I just did it. And the results were obvious.
And you've spawned an entire chocolate chip cookie industry and all these
did.
different types of chocolate chip, gourmet chocolate chip cookies that have come out since then.
I was the father of the cookie.
That's
Cookie never had a mother, though. I never.
These things happen.
They've done very well with that.
But from there, you've moved from the cookie business, which you're not even involved in.
I'm not a part of Famous Amos anymore. No.
Just sold the name because I still see it in the stores.
The cookies are still sold. However, my spirit is not a part of them. Therefore, they do not taste the same as they did when I was in.
I see. Okay. Well, I won't get into that. But your spirit is definitely in this book called The Power in You that you've written. And you do have a very positive spirit, and that's what you talk about in this book.
I wrote that with my son, Gregory, my middle son, Gregory. That's the second book I wrote. The first one in '83 was an autobiography called The Famous Amos Story, The Face That Launched 1,000 Chips. And it too chronicled my life, which, has been a positive life. And this is a lot of life experiences are in there. My personal philosophy is, is a part of that. Subtitle it, 10 Secret Ingredients for Inner Strength, because everybody wants to think it's a secret, so I figured I'd hook them, trick them, get them to buy the book.
The 50th anniversary of the Detroit Rebellion is being commemorated throughout the city with activities and exhibits. One event is taking place later this month at Rosa Parks Boulevard and Claremont, the area where the uprising began. Gordon Park, which is located at the intersection, has been renovated and rededicated as part of the anniversary activities.
1, 2, 3.
All right, the 3-day commemoration event will bring the community together for music, food, speakers, and children's activities. It's organized by a local nonprofit named Brothers Always Together. Joining me now is the president of the group, Lamont Causey. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. I love the idea of this event. I also love the park that is right there at what was 12th and Claremont, now is Rosa Parks Boulevard in Claremont. Part of the reason I love it is just it's a great idea. It's a great way to commemorate it. But I also love it because if you go back to that neighborhood now and drive around, it's hard to see how we have progressed since 1967. It's still a pretty hard-hit place, and this is sort of a beacon of hope, I guess, that says we are going to bring this back, and we are still dedicated to the idea that this can be a great place, and it's drawing people from neighborhoods, I know, all over that area to come together and play together. Yes,
and just to piggyback off of that, what we Brothers Always Together do is these events every year. We commemorate it. It's just not the 50th. Right. We also did a 25-year anniversary. Right. So what we do is with this park that's been re-renovated, we call it a venue now because they have the stage and all other activities going on with this particular park. So the 50th anniversary is going to take place July the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. It would be a 3-day event. It would be lots of entertainment, storytelling, theatrical plays going on. So we're excited to see the first step in bringing that community back, just with the venue of the park. So we are looking forward to some more stuff coming down the line to make that a community. And if you notice, I always use the word community. Community, sure. Yes. My family been over there for over
you're from that area.
I was born on 12th Street in Claremont. My family been over there over 70 years, still over there. So far as what Brothers Always Together do, we as an organization always try to do things in that community as far as bringing it together. We also do backpack giveaways, we do coats for kids, we do all type of events. We do Thanksgiving dinners for our seniors. And we probably the only group right now that's in that community that's working, because we want it to be a community and have people to come out and feel safe. And we do do this here during the summers of each year. With that being said, the 50th is going to be a huge, a huge event. We also have people like the Detroit Historical Society, Henry Ford Health System, the City of Detroit. They also have been bagging us and supporting us in so many different ways, and we are thankful for that. And with that being said, with this here event going on, we want to make sure we have everyone from the City of Detroit, not just the community, but the City of Detroit and the surrounding metro area to come out and support this year 3-day event. Yes.
Talk about that neighborhood now. As you say, your family's been there 70 years. What are some of the things that you would like to see happen in that community? A lot of the housing that was there in 1967 is gone. Most of the stores that were up and down Rosa Parks, where they were 12th Street then, now they're Rosa Parks, those are all gone. What's going to move things in the right direction over there?
First, we would start with probably housing, the redeveloping of housing over there. That would be a big part. And then secondly, we have it's turning into a very diverse community now. We have people of Wayne State even got a couple houses over there with students living in them. We have backgrounds of Asian, Caucasians walking their dogs up and down the street. And you didn't see that 20 years ago. You didn't see that 10 years ago. You didn't see it 25 years ago. So we welcome that. You know, that's what we want to see. We just don't want to be in that community and everybody is talking the same talk. We want to be able to walk the walk. And so with that being said, we also don't want to shove that history under the rug. We want to be able to talk about it and move the community forward and move the city forward. And so that's what our plan is, Brothers Always Together. Our plan is to work with the city and work with the communities to see what they want and what they need, and go to the city and let them know this is what the community is asking for.
Should work.
Yes, and so who can tell you best than the community? Right. And so that's what we basically do. Being said that, we also have a historical museum being built over there. By the Karazi group. That's going to be building, turning the house into a museum. So I just wanted to get that out for us. So actually, there's nothing been built over there since then.
I was going to say, right.
Yes. Tearing down more. And so we welcome, it's a start. And that's what you have to do, you know, from the beginning to the end. It starts somewhere. And it's been 50 years since we not had anything over there. They built some townhouses. I preferred for them to be businesses. The businesses that was burnt down.
That's what you need to create economic growth and opportunity.
Yes, because if you go to any other community, if you go out to Rural Oak or Oak Park Boulevard and all those, Ferndale Boulevard, there's nothing but businesses around there. And we don't have that in that community. Now, I remember as a kid seeing all these businesses over there. And so we hoping that all that can come back to that community again. It's such a historical site over there. People don't understand the dynamic of the history that's over there. And we don't want to be left out. We want to be a part of. And with that being said, I'm sure it's moving in the right direction. It might be slower than normal, but this is a big city also.
Right.
Too.
No, you've been told for a long time that your turn will come. Maybe this is the turning point where we get to focus on that area again.
This 50th anniversary will shine a lot of light on that.
That's right.
You know,
everyone's paying attention.
Yes, and we embrace it, and the story that we're telling, rather now than to keep complaining about it from talking about 50 years. Well, we here now. Right. So let's move forward.
Let's figure out what we
got to do, you know, to make this thing happen. And I'm quite sure the mayor will. He's been doing a great job since he's been in office. Because you got to remember, this is a big city. This is at one point, this was in the top 5 of cities in the United States. So, you know, you're talking about...
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, there's a lot to do, and you can't do it in 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, congratulations on the event, July 21st, 2nd, and 3rd.
Yes, it is.
At Gordon Park.
Yes.
Thanks very much. All right, and for more information about this event and others, you can visit Detroit1967.org. Finally today, we're remembering jazz pianist Jerry Allen. The music legend passed away last month. She was a native Detroiter and graduate of Cass Technical High School. Miss Allen was artistic director of the Carr Center, and she was my guest on this show in December. Detroit Public Television also showcased her talent in a webcast last summer. wonderful and talented Jerry Allen was 60 years old. Our condolences go to her family. That's our program for today. Thanks for watching. You can get more information about our guests at AmericanBlackJournal.org. And as always, you can connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
American Black Journal is funded by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
How does diversity bring energy to us all? At DTE Energy, we believe that it's the contributions of all that build great communities. As a company, we grow stronger by welcoming the unique perspectives of everyone. As community members, we support our state's broad culture and heritage. From working closely with women and minority-owned suppliers to embracing our local cultures, DTE Energy is powering diversity. The DTE Energy Foundation is a proud sponsor of Detroit Public Television. Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.